Alright guys, welcome back to another episode of the Tyranny Let's Review. This episode is going to be coming out a little late today. We are picking up where we left off. We finished Act 1 successfully. We'll take all of these. And what, pray tell, what are these? Spire rest bonus, plus 5 all skills. Stand together. Stand tall, stand together. Okay, cool. Awesome. Is there anything special that we can do up here at this spire? Oh, wait, what is this? Hold on. Spire upgrades. Recruits. Oh. Skilled trainer who teaches unarmed. Skilled trainer who teaches... Interesting. Okay. So you can hire different people. Wow, okay. With a motley collection of items for sale, Revos will also create camping supplies periodically. Let's see what happens if we hire this guy. Will appear the next time you travel to the mysterious device. Interesting. Okay, so we'll have to check on that later. Stand together, stand tall. Ah, this is where that effect came in, and we have a lot of wrath here. Well, foe AoE versus magic, drain 2 resolve, finesse, and might. Cool. Well, I guess we are going to, what is the next thing? Interact with Spire device. The teleporter has brought you to the top of the mountain spire in Minderine as well. I recall that. Has shut off and left you stranded atop the pillar. Perhaps a strange device at the center might hold the key to its activation once again. Well, let us do so. On closer inspection, a series of symbols carved out around the base of the structure come into view. One symbol pulses with a blue-white glow. The pattern resembles the glowing lines of light seen on the floor of Ascension Hall moments before you found yourself transported above the clouds. As you stare at the symbol, the chill of the wind abates and your chest swell with warmth. The air finally feels welcoming, your lungs sated at last. I'd be careful going any closer. This whole tower is humming with energies that we don't understand. Lantry holds his quill poised above a sheet of parchment with anticipation. Now, I didn't say back away. Let's find out what it does. Just be cautious. You staked your claim on the tower and everything in it. Whatever that sculpture is, it belongs to you. I feel dizzy. Do you feel dizzy? Bark massages the brow of his helmet, causing a howl of grinding iron to echo across the expanse. What is this thing? The surface of the stone edifice trembles at your words. For a brief moment, the solid rock undulates the same motion as a quiet pond rippled by rain. An echo bounces back from afar, your voice distorted and unfamiliar. Is this thing? The sculpture is once again still. There is a rush warmth through your body, a jolt of enervation that steadies your balance, a barrage of tactile sensation floods your mind as you feel footsteps and wind, but not on your face or your limbs. A moment later, the flood of information begins to make sense. You are feeling the wind against the spire, and even the weight of your own feet, as if the spire were a second spine. With this connection made, you feel your awareness pull from this place, not as a traveler, but as one glimpsing the world from impossibly far away. In this moment, there's nothing you cannot see, though you see it nearly all at once in a flood of sensation that is difficult to parse. You see a spire at the crossing of an ancient stone structure. 2 walls extend off into the distance. At the base of the eternal spire, settlers and merchants act in every way unconcerned, toiling under the observation of unforgiving taskmasters. As the shadow of the spire falls over them, the mood changes. The settlers pause in shared unease and look up the sky toward you. Some of these faces looking at you familiar, and you recognize this place as Alethian's Crossing, where you served during the war. Okay. Near the settlement built at the joining of ancient walls, you see a breach in the massive masonry, a cleft into the forbidden hidden realm within the old walls. Drift closer to the spire. The spire feels similar to the one you now occupy, though instead of radiating arcane life, it reeks of dust and crumbling stone. A branch withering once pulled from its tree, it reaches for you with a barely perceptible tug. Drift into the entrance. Shadows envelop you, muting all sound and vision with slight delay. There's a feeling of preservation of wrongness. Whatever arcane powers allowing your senses to drift free from your body seems to falter in this place. Figures haunt the stone halls, drifting emanations of cloud, claw, and fang. They pay you no heed, but you fear them all the same. In the depths of this forbidden place, the deepest chamber is bathed in light. An arcane symbol emulates the floor, though the details hurt your eyes when you focus. With a gentle tug, your focus pulls back to a new horizon, though it takes you a moment to recognize it as Vendrian's well. You've returned to the awareness of your immediate surroundings. The effect leaves you unsteady on your feet. The link between you and the spire recedes. The arcane bond is still present, but the mystical energies for the moment are quiet. Your body flooded with excitement and fatigue. It's unclear whether the mystic connection is strengthening you or siphoning. The tower offers nothing by way of answer, and you know that asking would only yield more silence and mystery. The deluge of sensation is over, but the positions of the other spires still linger in your mind. From your vantage point atop of the mountain spire, you can easily spot the mysterious structures, each of them rising high above the distant surroundings. Well, did you sense that? Lantry signs a long signal in the air, squinting at you as he works his cantrip. The ripples are everywhere. When you move, the magic of this place stirs and churns. That portal there, those burning braziers, they all glow more intensely as you approach. I think it's responding to your presence. Before we get ahead of ourselves, it's worth remembering that you ended Kairos' edict. That's no small feat. Maybe your connection to this place is related. Either way, sounds like something for the arcane-minded to investigate. Iron Marshal Erenios, be sure to see me after your audience with Tunon. We cannot let the Scarlet Course gain hold in the tiers. Together, we will wipe them from the land. Come to me as soon as you can, Fatebinder. We have a lot of work to do. Okay, cool. Investigate the spires, sorry. Travel to Tunon's court by way. Okay, so we have Stirring Visions and Voice of Kairos. Interesting. Let's see. Where's our map? Map? This? No, that's the pause. This is the mini-map. Where's the world map? Ah, there it is. Okay. So... okay. Interesting. Okay, so now that we have the spires in our head, we can see this other spire here, the Sunset Spire. Wow, okay, so we have a lot of areas that we can still kind of travel to and kind of... Ooh, we have an entire world to explore. Man, this is really opening my eyes here. Oh, hey. Okay, so that's... I see. There's Tunon, and that's it. Okay, cool. So, let's see, what do we have here? Lethian's Crossing and the Bastard City. Let's go to the Bastard City first, and then go to the Sunset Spire second. So, can I go here? No, I can't go. I cannot. Not yet.
Right.
I can't fast travel. The sculpture doesn't respond to your touch. Okay, that sucks. Let's go here then. Instant travel. Can I travel elsewhere? Oh, okay. So from there, I can basically travel wherever I want. Okay, so let's go to the Bastard City then. And I guess... yeah, let's just do that. It will take you 2 days, 12 hours to complete your journey from the mountain spire of Enrian's Well to Tunon's court. Let's actually go down to Ascension Hall at first. I don't want to leave this area completely without kind of checking what everybody else says. We just took over this place, so let's explore it a little bit and kind of get a lay of the land. Alright, so what have we got here? Yeah, a bunch of nothing. Ooh, what's that? Hold on. Excuse me? Can I... Yeah, what is this? -1 slash and shock armor. But it gives me some corrosion armor. Well, that's interesting. What is this? What about that? I do find this interesting. Alright, well, we'll have to look into that later. Let's go ahead and exit Ascension Hall, I guess. Move on outside of this area. Alright. Anything over here worth finding?
Have a look.
Yes. Yep. Let's actually equip that cloth hat, because that's actually better than what we're using.
Care.
Take that too. So let's go equip that immediately before I forget about it. What's this? Stubborn Aegeus, offhand only. Minus 15% all damage taken while health below 35. Oh, it's a shield. What did I get this for? Alright, whatever. Where is it? You get to have this. And let's see, what is this? That really doesn't help you out either. What about this? Nope, doesn't really help you. Doesn't help you at all. Apologies for this, but I do want to kind of make sure that, ooh, the Sage's gloves actually are better than what I'm using. So we're going to go ahead and put those on. Yeah, okay, cool. I like it. Awesome. I guess we'll just make sure that I can't get any other benefit out of most of this. Alright, yeah, let's go. Alrighty, let's see what we've got over here. I did explore that way, might as well explore this way. Ooh, there's a hall over here. I'm pretty sure I did not explore this earlier.
It's all in the reflexes.
Research. Dagger plans. Well, let's take that. Might as well, anyway. Okay, let's keep on going. Okay, so this is just a empty base right now, which is surprising. I would have thought that... Hello? I would have thought this, yes, thank you, campfire. Awesome. Oh, everybody has dialogue options
and
for me.
And so, civil war divides the armies of mighty Kairos. The reckoning that comes of this failure will be great indeed. We find ourselves in the darkest times. Brothers and sisters who fought for a similar cause now skewer each other over blighted lands in the favor of distant powers.
What would you have done at
Backing the disfavored was the only logical choice. Graven Ash is the only Archon worthy of your confidence, and you were wise to recognize as much. Naturally, I would have done the same. Whatever others might say about what happened in Vendrian's Well, you acted from instinct. I can't help but respect that. What can I do for you?
Well, let's see. Let's actually kind of explore some of this. This might not be the most interesting thing for y'all, but I do want to kind of see if I can gain more loyalty with some of these characters, especially the one Scarlet Chorus person that we still have. Let's see. Did you seek the trade of war? Or did it find you? I'm the line your enemies cannot cross. All other details are meaningless, but I suspect you have some thirst for details, so ask away. Did you seek the trade of war? Did it find you? Both, I suppose. I knew fighting was in my blood, and the disfavored offered me a chance to use my skills to bring peace. Otherwise, I'd have wound up in some brigand or enforcer, crooked merchants. Verse, you think Ash and his legion bring peace? That's cute, but it doesn't hold water from where I'm standing, big guy. I've seen them spill as much blood as any chorus gang. Barrack is right. The Scarlet Chorus is too chaotic to recognize order. Crap. Fear with Verse and loyalty with Barrack. I can see you're beginning to understand. The chorus is a useful tool to throw at one's enemy, but it grows brittle with age and is soon replaced. The disfavored needed recruits in anticipation of the march south. They offered to care for my mother and brother as long as I stayed with the Legion, which is better guarantee than you'll find anywhere else. I was an elite fighter, as most were concerned, though still agreeing disfavored standards. Luckily for everyone, my skills improved under the Iron Marshal's rigorous training. Tell me about your name. Barrack's shortening of my northern surname, which has been passed down through the generations since Graven Ash assembled his army. I go by it because I wear it with pride. The proper form is Barraconin. Interesting. What is the story with
It is a symbol
armor?
of Kairos' will, one that I am not likely to forget. I found this armor. Perhaps it would be better to say that it found me during the Edict of Storms.
What happened during the Edict of Storms? When we heard that Kairos would proclaim the edict, we rushed into the field to battle the forces of Stalwart. I was shoulder to shoulder with some of the Legion's most decorated veterans, and my pride blinded me to the danger. Our march was a hasty one. A cohort of disfavored soldiers vanished in the second year of the war, among them the daughter of the Graven Ash. After a long silence, we learned that she was held in a fortress of Sentinel Sand. As we were surrounded the citadel, I heard the opening of Pearls of Thunder, as did the scout I was busy trying to kill. Then the winds hit like an avalanche. Many of us begged Kairos for deliverance. What else were we to do? The winds knocked the legs of our offensive out from under us. All the decorated soldiers I brought to the battle were swept up, dashed to pieces, their armor and bodies mixing with the dirt of a tornado that spun in maddening revolutions. Damn thing chooses this moment to go dry, and with so few survivors to recount the edict. Bah! Lantry shakes his quill and presses it harder against a scrap of parchment, imploring it to write. A piece of the citadel wall broke off and nearly crushed my skull. I only remember a few scattered moments from the storm, like the flying bits of bronze and iron cutting my flesh, the severed limbs of fallen soldiers tumbling through the air. Let's see. What happened to Ash's daughter after the edict hit? She was trapped. She was trapped behind the walls of the Sentinel Sand, imprisoned by Kairos' storm, as well as the fortress itself. 1,000 soldiers standing shoulder to shoulder could not have endured those winds to rescue her. How did you survive when everyone fell? That's a mystery to me as well. Did Kairos hear my plea for mercy? Did this heap of scrap metal protect me, imprison me, punish me? He rubs the back of his helmet with a gauntleted hand. A pantomime gesture of armor prohibits. You're genuinely stuck in there? Haven't tried taking it off? I made attempts in the past, even had one of the beast haulers pull on the helmet while another pulled on my boot. The men in the phalanx have taken great pleasure in trying to find ways to liberate me. In time I grew weary of the struggle. Sometimes I fear that removing the armor would be to question Kairos' judgment and risk a more odious curse. Looks like pretty solid protection. That would be an understatement if only it protected me from foolish questions. Do you handle your own repairs? I try to keep the surface oil to slow the spreading rust, and I bend the plates from time to time, but repairs, maintenance, no. Back to my questions about you. By all means, Fatebinder. As with all disfavored, I assume you grew up in the Northern Empire? That's right, I grew up in the battle rest, blah blah blah, 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 unless, of course, a glorious battle, blah, blah, blah. Okay, let us speak of something else. Would you like to discuss removing your armor? He looks at you for a long time. His expression is as unreadable as ever.
Though we are encouraged to couple and mate within the Legion, I don't consider you one of my cohorts. I think I'll decline.
Wait, you're saying the answer would be different if I was disfavored?
You weren't. Forgive me, it's been some time since anyone made an advance, and I am long out of practice, as you can see. Suffice it to say, my armor and I will not be separated for the time being. When the war is over, perhaps Tunon will lend me one of his forge-bound. Until then, my armor saved me from the destruction of Stalwart, where thousands of others lost their lives. So you can see why I continue to wear it. For the time being, we will not be separated.
Are you even comfortable in there? I have somehow developed enough calluses that I can sleep at night, but I wouldn't call that comfort, would you? This is my armor. It has everything it needs and more. Purpose, meaning, strength. If it were comfortable, that would only take away from its other qualities. I kind of dislike how a lot of this dialogue between at least my, allies here is not, voice acted. The sporadic voice acting is what bothers me. I mean, I don't mind reading all of this out loud to you guys, but it's kind of like the inconsistency of it is not that appealing to me. Okay, do you even want it removed? I would not speak of this now, Fatebinder. Please consider the topic closed. Perhaps I didn't... As your commander, I am concerned about the state of your uniform. Damn it, you're right to be concerned. My apologies that you needed to pull rank. It was wrong of me to withhold information. I don't need to tell you that this suit of junk is a literal pain in my ass, half-broken, smelling of midden, and perpetually jabbing my side with some Kairos be damned caltrop. These dusty plates may not be up to standard, but they serve the disfavored well enough on the battlefield, if only to intimidate the enemy. Better for me to endure this condition than to shirk an advantage. Considering that I wore this as I marched across the bones of Stalwart, that was my burden growing heavier with each step. I have no desire to leave it behind. It's a lesson, a reminder, and yes, a prison, but all those things make it something more. It's an armor fastened in ideas, Lantry mutters to himself soberly and commits a few words to his manuscript. These plates have something of me in them. They are as wicked as a bramble patch, as stubborn as a fortress, and hopelessly flawed. What does Graven Ash think of your predicament? I suspect he doesn't. Not to besmirch the general, he has larger matters to be concerned as to one of his soldiers' woes. How long do you think it can last? The armor hasn't shown any sign of weakening, and my maintenance regiment is all that keeps it from rusting solid. Were I to stop applying oil and give it into entropy, the shell would harden to a degree that no forge master has ever seen. I think it could very well stand for as long as the old walls, with my skeleton peering out from the depth, and someday not even that. Now, isn't that a cheery thought? Tell me about what you can and can't do. I can strike fear into the hearts of our enemies and protect a shield wall with my very body. What more do you need? How do you vacate your bowels? Let's say I manage and manage poorly. The parts of this misbegotten thing I can reach are in better repair than the ones I can't. How do you take pleasure from life? We are actually talking about this Fatebinder. Do you have nothing better to do than wonder how I access my nether regions for a frenzied bout of self-interest? I don't want to hear this. How do I even run far enough to avoid it? Well, I can't, and not from the lack of trying. My works are are inaccessible from the outside. That must be hell right there. That right there must be freaking hell. How do you fare in water? Better to ask how do I sink. The answer is quickly. Water passes my lips easily enough because I take great care to keep it from anywhere else. Let us talk about something else. That you fight particularly. Too bare converse. Have either of you noticed that you fight particularly well together?
The thought has crossed my mind from time to time. During the many battles of the Conquest, we found ourselves standing back to back with enemies on all sides on more than one occasion.
The big guy here is as useless as an empty scabbard without his phalanx to keep him alive, but I move fast enough to compensate for it. And it's nice having a living wall of rusted iron I can use for cover.
Absolutely not. Our fighting styles are incompatible, and any disfavored lieutenant will tell you not to join at the hip soldiers who can't stomach each other.
I'm inclined to agree. If you want to pair up fighters, there has to be some great passion or magnetism between them. We don't have it.
Haha, subterfuge. Let's bluff them. If neither of you's up to the challenge, then I won't force the matter.
Now see here, Verse's temperament and unpredictable ways are an annoyance, but no challenge is beyond my skill. Verse, we should take some time to face off in the sparring fields. It might even improve our disposition towards one another.
I'd rather watch you devour your armor one shaved off spoonful at a time. But since that isn't going to happen anytime soon.
Reputation ability unlocked. Barrack loyalty ability Iron Storm. Oh, that's awesome. Where is it? Barrack? Nice. All right. A reputation change of major strength to unlock this tier. Okay. Interesting. All right. So we can get buffs, or rather, we can get different perks based on our loyalty with everybody, so it is benefiting us to talk with them. Alright, that's good. Okay, so, that being said...
My Lord Binder, you have something which requires my attention? What can I do for you?
Let's see, tell me about the disfavored. We are the Iron Legion, the warrior of the Elite of Kairos. Could easily lose count of the hours extolling our glories. What is it you'd like to know? Have you fought in any notable battles? I kind of don't quite care. Tell me about the Graven Ash. Okay, at this point, I'm going to speed through this, see if I can't. How did the Graven Ash come? How did he come to serve Kairos? Blah, 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 blah. He made the right choice saving his troops, so Ash bent his knee to a conquer. Though the general seldom speaks of it, I know that Ash humbled himself in order to spare his troops the brunt. He made the right choice. Yay, got loyalty. Alright, and he would make it again to save us. There has never been a more devoted and attentive leader. What else do you know of his past? Let's see. As an Archon, what magic does he wield? Ash works his magic through us, his soldiers. When we do battle, Ash seems to know the events even before our runners. Okay, how do you feel about the Graven Ash? How do I feel about him? Archon Ash is the bravest, warmest, most compassionate general who's ever lived. He's a living icon of leadership and courage. What can you tell me of your time in the Legion? What of the other disfavored lieutenants? Tell me of the one they call Iron Marshal. She takes it upon herself to train hard. And what of Karen's disciple Radix? What are the other scouts? Back to... Let's see, what was this? I think that's a question you want to ask the Scarlet Chorus. They were too charged with ensuring locals... What did I just ask? Why didn't the Legion prevent the uprising in Vendrian as well? The disfavored and Kairos elite. The duty was theirs to fail. If the Chorus had conscripted more aggressively, perhaps there would not have been an uprising. I would say the Vendrian Guard are really the only guilty party. It was their rebellion, after all. That is a supposition unworthy of you, Fatebinder. The Tears are but children of Kairos, blah, blah, blah. What more can you tell me of the Legion? The disfavored accept only the finest warriors. What if a capable Tiersman wished to join? We would not recruit even a champion of the Tiersmen. Each soldier in the Legion is tied by blood and fealty to those that stood with Graven Ash during the coming of Kairos. That is part of who we are, and that will never change. So why is the Legion called the Disfavored? Is the name born in shame, now worn in honor? After Graven Ash stood against Kairos, he was forced to give up much, his allegiance, his pride, and the name of his vaunted army. What was the Legion originally called? The name has been forgotten by all save Ash and Kairos. It is considered... Let's speak of something else. Back to my previous questions. Let's see, I have some questions about the Scarlet Chorus. The allies that were supposed to help us conquer the Tiers, common criminals, every last one of them. What would you like to know? What do you know of the voice of Narat, Archon of Secrets? All I know is rumors. Do you know anything of his powers? I am no scholar of sorcery. Do you think him disloyal? I heard his tears can turn cheese into milk. That's very amusing, Fatebinder. What do you know of his associates, Archon Sirin? Back to my question about the Scarlet Chorus. What can you tell me about the troops and the tactics? These are the first I've heard of them. The chorus is more an irregular mob than a proper army. Still, it's a well-armed mob, and they even have a few proper warriors and magicians in their pitiful excuse for ranks. Do you know if they're warriors? I'm sorry if this is annoying. At this point, I'll call this an episode right here. I'm going to go through as much of these dialogue options as I can, and then on the next episode, we will continue with the story. But right now, I'm going to go through all these dialogue options and kind of basically make sure that we actually get the benefits that we can get out of this. So on the next episode, be prepared to actually make progress on the story. This episode, I'm gonna give based on how good the last episode was, I'll give it like a 7. I like the lack of voice acting, or the sporadic voice acting, is what's kind of not giving it to me on this game. Like, I realize it's kind of based on old school games where there wasn't any voice acting, but if you're going to include some voice acting, like, at least make it consistent. Because some characters have voice acting, but only on certain dialogue options, and it's kind of irritating where, like, for 1 second they're speaking, and the next second I have to read what they're saying. So that's kind of irritating. So anyway, I'm giving this episode a 7. Like I said, check out the next episode for actual progress in the story. And I apologize if this was kind of boring. But I did want to actually go through some of these dialogue options to actually gain some insight onto these characters and get these buffs. So I'll catch you all in the next episode, everybody. Later.